welcome to Big Muddy Mayhem, the podcast where we talk about true crime and bad behavior in the Midwest.
Each week, we'll bring you 2 stories from the heartland that might break your heart, but we hope to entertain you along the way.
I'm Janet O'Brien.
I'm Tracey Laricha.
Hello!
Hello, Janet!
How are you?
Oof. Oh my gosh. Holiday weekend, right? A little bit?
Yeah, a little bit.
Of everything?
Everything.
Producer Bluebell met a deer.
Nice.
Over the weekend, and luckily, only kind of chased it out of Ryder's dad's yard.
Gotcha.
Otherwise. And I filled up my very first book.
Wow.
So as we round in on 1 year, we've been writing a whole lot of big muddy stories over the past year. But it's fun and I like it. So I'm excited
totally
to get
fun.
After it.
Yes, me too. I had a pretty good weekend. I did a slumber party where I watched a whole lot of really bad horror movies.
Nice.
I went and saw Sammy Hagar at the Riverport Amphitheater. Tracy's trying to not laugh.
Did you put anybody's hand in warm water?
No.
At either place?
No.
Because I feel like a slumber party and a Sammy Hagar concert are both places where you could, theoretically, make somebody pee themselves.
Do you want to know who opened up for Sammy Hagar?
Yes.
Loverboy.
Okay, I know the band, but what did they sing?
I don't know. I have to look it up. I knew a couple other songs, obviously, because I'm a girl of the 80s, but,
I wish, all right, everybody jump in get in the comments section and tell us what Loverboy sang. Please, come on. Also, once you do, go take an Advil and lift with your legs and not with your back, because you are our age.
Oh, and I also went for a car ride with my parents yesterday.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we went to go see the Burr Oak Tree, which is near Boonville, and it's almost 400 years old.
Oh, wow.
So that was really cool. And we also saw Boathenge. It's a bunch of boats sticking out of the ground,
what happened to them? Is it
it's an art thing.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah,
so
but
it's not just a bad storm and all of a sudden.
No.
Okay, good.
No. It's boats. See, boats.
Oh my! All right. Okay, so this is actual solid ground. This isn't just a whole bunch of boats that are tits up in the water.
No, Boathenge.
Okay.
So that was my weekend.
Fantastic.
But I think we have some stories to tell.
We do still have a couple of stories to tell, and I believe that you have our first one this week.
I do.
So, tell me a story.
I will tell you a story. I will take it away. Have you heard of Samuel Little?
The name sounds vaguely familiar, but I don't think that I know. Not offhand.
Okay.
So let's go.
I will tell you about Samuel Little. He was born, actually, Samuel McDowell, June 7th, 1940, in Reynolds, Georgia.
Okay.
He does eventually live in Ohio, and that's why the story is happening.
My story also does not start out in the Midwest, but does get there.
Right.
Also, June 7th is 3 days before my birthday. So, hey there, Gemini boy, what you doing?
Per Samuel, his mother, Bessie May Little, which he eventually took that name, was a teenage prostitute that abandoned him. They believe she gave birth while she was in jail. The census info on her says that she was working as a maid, and his father was 19 years old.
Okay.
Paul McDowell. After his birth, the Little family, that's her side of the family, moved...
Did they live in the walls? They had really big ears? Oh, no. No, I'm sorry. Something else.
After he was born, the Little family moved to Lorain, Ohio. He was raised by his grandmother, his mom's mom, and attended Hawthorne Junior High School. He had several issues with discipline.
Oh.
He was not a great kid in school. Per Samuel, he started having sexual fantasies about strangling women as a child. So you know where this is going.
Oh. Wow. And how old? And he's...
Yeah, well, this is in high school. I mean, he tells this much later, but this is information from him. So we're you can't 100% count.
So early on, he's got kind of like weird ideas about.
Exactly. He says it started in kindergarten. I barely remember anything that happened in kindergarten, so I'm sure this is kind of made up. He says, "Oh, I saw the teacher touch her throat," and
that seems. Yeah, like I said, odd for me. Like,
right?
Why would it a 5-year-old?
Yeah, you're not. No, you're not having those kind of thoughts.
No,
no, not at all. As a teenager, he did start to collect true crime magazines depicting the choking of women. So obviously, this is more like he starts looking into this more in high school.
And choking is his thing.
Yes, exactly. So. In 1956, at the age of 16, he was convicted of breaking and entering into a property in Omaha, Nebraska. He was held at an institution for juveniles. At this time, his mother was listed when he got put into this juvenile system, whereabouts unknown.
Oh, no.
Okay, so we kind of skip over. They don't have a lot of information on him as a super young child. Later in the 1960s, so he's like, he's in his 20s now, he ends up moving to Florida to live with his mother. So he clearly still has some contact with her because his grandmother raised him.
He still has the same
it's a problem.
Proclivity.
Yes.
Right. Oh, wow.
So he ends up working some odd jobs, like he works as a cemetery worker and he works as an ambulance attendant.
And there's nothing weird about wanting to be around dead and dying people all the time when you have also kind of watched the light go out of someone's eyes, right?
Yeah. Once he started traveling more, he started to have a lot of more run-ins with the law.
You don't
I know. He was arrested in 8 different states for a DUI, for fraud, for shoplifting, for solicitation, for armed robbery, aggravated assault, and rape. So this guy was just not great.
He doesn't have,
no, he's just doing all the things.
A good history. There is no story where he's just like, oh, and then he got himself straightened out.
Oh, no. Not at all. Not even a little.
Mm-mm.
So while he's in prison, he ended up taking up boxing. In 1960...
Let's let this guy punch people.
Exactly. In 1961, he was sentenced to 3 years in prison for breaking into a furniture store. When he was released in 1964. But in 1975, he had been arrested 26 times in 11 states.
Oh my gosh!
For other things such as theft, assault, attempted rape, fraud, and attacks on government officials. So I don't know what that was about. But he's like in and out of the...
Arrested in 11 states is kind of its own... that tells a story.
Right, exactly. Now, while Samuel, he had a girlfriend, and in May of 28th, 1971, him and Lucy, can't pronounce her last name, they were arrested in Cleveland and charged with robbery of a gas station. So while they're both in jail, they end up basically going to trial. He was not found guilty, but his girlfriend at the time ended up going into jail, and she had the cellmate.
Oh no!
And the cellmate, no, you gotta wait. She ends up meeting this other woman who goes by the name of Jean. Orleah Jean Dorsey. So Lucy, his current girlfriend, the one that he
Okay.
got arrested for, doing that armed
Robbing
robbery
the-
thing,
Yeah.
she starts telling this Jean Dorsey gal, who's her cellmate, hey, I'm thinking I'm going to, rat him out.
Drop my boyfriend.
Yeah, and then that way I won't get all charged with this. Well, they end up going into the trial, and they end up finding him not guilty.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But somehow, because his girlfriend has met this other woman by the name of Jean Dorsey, he starts ending up dating Jean Dorsey.
No. Well, hey, you weren't there. You're the girl I should stick with.
No idea how this happens. So for a long time, Jean ends up basically supporting them by shoplifting. That is how she supports them.
Now,
by
was it a I'm dating her, but I'm also dating him thing? Or
I
is
have
it just
not a clue.
Okay.
I have not a clue. I just know that he ended up dating this Jean gal until she passed away in 1988.
Wow.
So they were together.
Spoilers!
Right. So, then we come to what starts to happen. We were like, okay, well, clearly he's got this girlfriend. So, she basically supports him by doing other illegal activities.
Okay.
That's how they work. In 1970, I guess he's back, he was in Florida at that point, because he moved around a lot. In 1970, they end up finding this woman strangled and left in a shallow grave. Okay?
Oh, wow.
And they're like,
Okay.
that's interesting, but they can't figure out what happened.
How did she get here?
Right.
What happened?
Right. And so they're like, okay, that's really strange. And they start to figure out, wait a minute, maybe this guy has something to do with it.
Dun, dun, dun. Yes. How many times can it be coincidence?
Right, exactly. So there's many interviews with this guy, and if you see an interview with the guy, and even when he's talking about the horrible things he does, he's a very pleasant speaking man.
Okay.
He's just chill and
He's
stuff.
so nice and he's so good on camera, and
Yeah.
everybody is just like, oh, wow, he really wants to know what happened to.
So basically what he wanted to do is he would only strangle with his hands. He mostly would go after drug addicts or sex workers, people who couldn't,
No one is looking for them.
Exactly. He would most of these women would not be missed, as you said. He did this over and over, and it took a very, very long time for him to get caught.
Oh, wow.
By the time he was caught, he had been arrested over 100 times.
Oh,
no! But only spent 10 years in prison. So he's been caught a bunch of times for other things, but never for murder.
10% of your time, if you're out there as a murderer, 10% is a pretty good law of average.
I know.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
He apparently left bodies in the Everglades. He left a body at a pig farm. He would put them down, in the woods. Just left bodies everywhere. By the time bodies were found, they couldn't figure out how they died because he never shot them. He never stabbed them. He only strangled them.
With his hands.
And he put them somewhere. And then, a lot of they couldn't really tell what happened
Did
to
he
him.
have anything weird or anything that we know about his hands?
No.
Was he, it wasn't he was supernaturally strong or anything like that. He just... That's what
one
he
of the
did.
things he would do is he would hit him on the head to kind of make him unconscious and then strangle them.
Okay.
So he would beat them first before he strangled them. In 1982...
But also still with hands only?
I know. It's just insane. In 1982, he was arrested in Pascagoula for the murder of a 22-year-old Melinda LaPree. This is in Mississippi. The grand jury declined to indict him for the murder because there just wasn't enough to convict. While under investigation, he was extradited to Florida for the murder of a 26-year-old by the name of Patricia Ann Mount, whose body was found September of 1982.
Okay.
So now we know at least there's 2 murders happening in 82.
Also, Melinda LaPree is the most New Orleans name.
I know! It is. Due to the mistrust of the witnesses' testimonies, he was acquitted on January of 1984 for Patricia's murder. He ended up moving out to California near San Diego. By October of 1984, he was arrested for kidnapping, beating, and strangling a 22-year-old by the name of Lori Barrows, who survived. So somebody survived. And then 1 month later, the police found him in the back seat of his car where he had beaten and strangled another lady in the same location.
No.
She didn't die either. So there's two people.
Is she in the car or like near the?
I mean, the girl that the second person.
Arrested?
He was arrested. He was caught the second time in his car beating and trying to strangle this woman.
Oh, okay. So she's there. It's like, yep, no, you're going.
Yeah.
This is like smoking gun.
Now, the fact that neither of them were dead and nobody, could seem to convict them for any murders yet because they only knew about the possibly two, which both got acquitted. He only served 2.5 years in prison for both of these crimes.
Oh, no.
When he was released, he ended up moving to Los Angeles in 1987, where he committed 10 more murders.
Wow.
Finally. Okay, so what? His first murder was 1970 that we know of.
So there's a lot.
September 5th of 2012.
Holy Jesus. So he has had like
a long history.
A very long career.
Right. So September 5th of 2012, at a homeless shelter in Louisville, Kentucky.
Oh no.
He was arrested and extradited to California for a narcotics charge. Now, this is 2012, no longer, we're no longer in the 1980s. And DNA testing is way more prevalent at this point. I mean, they've collected DNA.
Oh my God, Janet, my story also involves like some advances in DNA testing. I don't know how we do it, but we do.
We do. When they used the DNA testing and found out he was involved in these murders. They found 3 different murders. They found Linda Alford. She was murdered on July 13th of 1987.
Okay.
Guadalupe Duarte Apodaca. She was murdered September 3rd, 1987. And then Audrey Nelson Everett. She was murdered August 14th, 1989. And they were all found. All these 3 women were found on the streets in LA.
And again, like all of these are people that are just like folks that are sex workers,
right,
or people that are not going to be missed.
Exactly. So they've connected his DNA to these 3 women. He was extradited to Los Angeles, and he was charged January 7th, 2013. A few months into the investigation, the police said he was being investigated not for 3 more murders from the 1980s. Try 36 more in the 1980s.
Wow, holy crap.
So while they're trying to figure out these 3, they're like, oh, there's like 36 more at least.
This is right up there in like kind of top serial murderers.
Exactly.
Like in the country, right?
Right. He was tried for the 3 murders, and then on September 25th, 2014, they found him guilty and sentenced him to life without a parole. At the time that he was sentenced, he claimed he was innocent. But then once he wasn't getting out of jail, he started to get a little talky and started confessing. And they already kind of knew. They were like, oh yeah, no, this guy has killed a lot of people. In total, that they know of, he has murdered 93 people.
Holy crap. Like I said, this man does seem like someone that cannot keep a secret. Mm-hmm. But 93 is a number
that is a huge number. It is way, I think I was...
That is not what I was expecting.
I was watching something today, and it was like combination of like Ted Bundy and somebody else. It's way more.
Golden State Killer, same thing.
It's just way more.
We talked about how, sometimes things come to light afterwards.
Right.
But still, 93.
93 people.
93.
November 9th, 2018, he ended up confessing to a fatal strangulation of Melissa Thompson in 1996. November 13th, so like 4 days later, he was charged with the murder of Denise Christie Brothers in Odessa, Texas, and he confessed to that to a Texas Ranger in May of 2018. He pled guilty to that one, probably because it was in Texas, in December of 2018, and received another life sentence. Per the Texas District Attorney, November 13th, 2018, he confessed to dozens of murders, more than 90.
Oh, wow.
Across 14 states. All the murders happened between 1970 and 2005.
I did it. All of those, I did it.
So it's like 70s, 80s, 90s.
Oh my gosh.
So like 35 years of murdering people and not getting caught for it. Only getting caught for the other things and never spending a lot of time in jail for
I
it.
can't even remember what 35 years looks like, and to be killing people for
that long.
That long. Oh my goodness.
So on December 30th of 2020, he died at a Los Angeles County hospital. They did not reveal the cause of death, but I'm pretty sure I know what it was. He was diabetic and had heart issues, so...
COVID would not have treated him kind.
No, not at all. He was...
Although he never treated anyone kind.
No.
So fine, good. You
know,
die in a hospital room on your own.
I mean, he was 80.
Deserve it.
He was 80 years old.
I know, and you deserve it.
Now, just so if you ever want to watch or read anything, well, watch specifically, Julian Lauren, she investigated him and interviewed him several times. It is a 5-part miniseries on Starz called Confronting a Serial Killer. It was released in April 18th, 2021. So it was released a few months after he passed away, but she was already talking to him and researching this for a long time.
She would just kind of was like, all right, well, we know you did it. Let's talk about it.
He got very talky.
Nice.
I mean, and I watched a lot of the videos of him, and he's just like, oh, yeah, well, she was a hoe. It's just like picking grapes. Oh, here's another grape. Oh, here's another grape. He was just... like he's almost bragging about it. Like, nobody knows she's a hoe. All that. I'd probably get him some drugs, maybe some alcohol. I'd take him out to dinner.
Wow.
And then he'd drive them somewhere and he would beat them, sometimes rape them, and definitely murder them with his hands. And they asked him, they're like, did you use anything else? And he's like, no, just my hands. I don't like blood.
So the detective is just kind of like trying to find what she can get.
Right. Well, she wanted to investigate it more and get more information.
Have you watched, okay, real quick aside, sorry, a little big muddy detour. I've been watching Chimp Crazy.
Oh, I have not seen that.
Oh my goodness. It's this whole thing where it's a person who has all of these chimpanzees that, like, maybe shouldn't have them.
Maybe no.
And then another person that's like a monkey broker that works with them, and like, so there's a chimp that they think is dead, and like that chimp is just being hidden at Lake of the Ozarks. The whole thing takes place in Missouri.
Oh, of course. It doesn't surprise me.
It is ghastly, and it is sad, and it is hard to watch, but I am also like riveted to every stinking moment.
So I do have one picture to show you, which I thought was very interesting, and it is basically, I have to find it real quick, of course.
That's okay. I've got some photos from my story
Here
too, but it's like a little bit of, a little bit of each.
So, he's been arrested a whole lot since like the, 1966 was his first arrest, because 56 actually, but here is all of his mug shots throughout.
10 of, like, at least, like, oh my gosh. And, okay, so this guy looks more or less the same.
Mm-hmm.
I do have to say, this man has a commitment to the mustache.
Yeah, he does.
From 1966 to 1994, he always, like, he might gain some weight, he might lose some weight, he might...
But it's just so crazy. It's like all of those
be a little bit
mugshots.
more of this or a little more of that, but there's always the mustache.
Right, yeah.
He wants the facial hair.
He wants the facial hair. But yeah, so he was a very prolific. I had never even heard of him.
That's so many, though. 93.
And I'm like,
crazy.
okay, why are we stuck on like the Ted Bundy thing when there's this guy?
Right, and the Golden State Killer and all of that.
I'm pretty sure I
When
know
we
the
have
answer,
this.
and I don't like the answer. But Ted Bundy is a white guy, and this guy is not.
But 93 people
That is a
killed
lot of
is
people.
huge. Like, that's
Right.
ginormous.
Yeah, just messed up.
Ugh.
So
And that is
that is
story.
the story of that guy. I don't even want to say his name. It's so bad. He's just so bad. So yeah, that was my story. That was Samuel Little.
Wowza. And Janet, I have a story for you.
Do you have a story for me?
I am going to, before I start, I'm going to make sure that I've got... Oh, by the way, I was just talking with Ryder about a podcast I've been listening to.
Uh-huh.
It's called Recollecting Carter.
Oh, okay.
And it's all about Jimmy Carter.
Oh, really?
His presidency and
Aw.
episode. Sorry, everybody, if you're in blue, like popping in the background. She's fine, I swear.
Really?
Rough.
Are you okay? You're a good dog.
So we went to Ryder's dad's yesterday
Uh-huh.
for Labor Day, and our cats took the cob corns out of a bag. And I found the chewed up bag with the cob corns mostly in the kitchen. And then I thought that I had one of Blue's toys down at my foot. And
It was
I looked.
not a toy.
Oh, it was a cob corn. She didn't chew it up. I promise she's fine. She did not chew any of it. But I did find a raw ass cob corn in the bottom of my bed this morning.
No.
But we're not here to talk about that crime. We are here to talk about Marlene Warren.
Okay. Never heard.
Okay. So, Janet, we're on episode 44.
Yes, we are.
So it's time I serve you up a weird one.
Okay, I'm ready for weird. I like weird.
This is a cold case, and it has a twist.
Okay.
And it does have a specific content warning. I'm just going to say, Megan, love you, one of our best friends, friend of the pod. This one is going to be the creepy one, so just get ready. Get a stuffy and get a nice blankie. We're going to talk about Marlene Warren.
Okay.
We don't start in the Midwest for this, but we will get there. We don't have a whole lot of early story. Maureen and Mike Warren are married in 1972, and Maureen has a 3-year-old son, Joe. And Mike is a really good stepdad. And so they are, they're a cute couple. It's so 70s, isn't it?
Super. She's got that light blue eyeshadow from Kingdom Come. Yeah.
Feathered bangs.
Oh, yeah.
He's got also the feathered bangs.
Yes, he does, and he's got that shaggy beard.
Yeah. And the wide collar shirt.
Yeah.
And all of that. So they're adorable. They're married in 1972. Maureen has a 3-year-old son named Joe from an earlier marriage. And Mike is a great stepdad. They start life in Florida. And like I said, this doesn't begin in the Midwest, but we will get there. So he's in Florida. Life is good. They're hustlers. They're entrepreneurs.
Okay.
They own a whole bunch of like individual businesses, and we'll get to that. But they are rich, like really, 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 really.
Oh wow. Okay.
They are making money through other people's misery and anxiety. They have several businesses. It's mostly property rental, used car sales, repoing cars. They have race horses.
What? Okay.
They have a couple of boats. The worst of Florida, right?
Right.
So they live in a neighborhood that is so posh that every house, including the one that they live in, every single house has their own private jetway.
Oh my God.
Because everyone that lives there has a jet. Meanwhile, the marriage isn't so good.
Huh.
Mike cheats
Gotcha.
a lot. And he's not kind to Marlene. And he's not kind to Joe. And he repeatedly tells, or she repeatedly, tells her son and also her mother, Shirley, hey, if anything happens to me, Mike did it.
Oh, wow.
That's
not great.
a lot.
Yes, it is.
All right, it's one thing to not have a great marriage.
Right.
But it's one thing to be like, hey. If I just turn up somewhere, this guy.
Yeah, that guy.
So in 1980, 21-year-old Joe, he breaks his leg. And, I mean, you know how it is.
Yeah.
You're in your early 20s.
Right.
Everybody has some kind of a mess up where you're like, I've got to go home and stay with mom.
Right.
Nothing critical, but he needs a little bit of mom care. So he's in a cast and also mostly getting around on a walker.
Sure.
Or a chair. And so he goes home and he's staying with his mom and his stepdad. May 26th, 1990. Okay. So also probably Labor Day weekend, right? Maureen is making breakfast. Joe and 3 of his friends are over there at the house. He's again in a cast. Everything's going fine.
Right.
Maureen's like, oh look, we've got a delivery. And a clown walks up to
I'm sorry, what? You're going to have to repeat that for me.
A clown walks up to the doorway. Mm-hmm. And the clown has a balloon that says, "You're the best," and also has a bouquet of flowers.
Okay.
Maureen opens the door to receive the delivery. Joe, who's in a wheelchair and a cast,
right,
and his friends are all in there enjoying the breakfast that Maureen has just cooked. And she says, "Oh, how pretty." And then shots ring out. Mm-hmm. Joe's friends see it. Joe sees it. Joe calls for them to call 911, and he tries to get out to his car to chase after the clown.
Oh my God.
Who leaves in a white Chrysler LeBaron.
Oh wow. And
the clown isn't running to the car, just walks right the hell out, because the clown knows that he can't give chase because his freaking leg is broken.
Oh my God.
So he gets into a car. There are so many clowns in the other car, No, not really. But no, he gets the clown gets into a white Chrysler LeBaron and drives off. And he tries to catch that car, but just, like, can't find it.
Wow.
Like, can't do anything about it. So Mom Shirley and son Joe are both immediately like, oh my goodness, she said this was going to happen. This is her husband. Like, we need to find him.
Right.
He has a rock solid alibi. He was on a road trip with friends, and so he was like in a car in between one state and another with like 3 other people that are like, he was here for hours.
Wow.
So no problem. He's a good distance from the house. But as they're looking into it, the police find out a little bit more on Mike.
Okay.
He's never been faithful.
Ah.
And he's been really bold with this most recent lover. Sheila Keene is a driver for the company. Mm-hmm. She and Mike have been hitting it off for a while, passionately and openly for years. So literally everyone knew.
Right.
She will deny it. She will say, oh, I was just out picking up cars for the repo position. But everybody's like, no, these two have something to do with it. And there's Sheila.
She just...
Now, all right, can you describe her face?
She looks like a woman from the 70s. She has, she doesn't have any bangs. She has long dark hair. She has dark eyes, dark eyebrows. Just looks normal. I mean...
Big eyes.
Big eyes, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, very nice smile.
Right. So all Joe and his friends know when they're talking to the cops, large brown eyes and long brown hair.
Oh.
In the clown. And, also, this is the thing that I think is kind of funny. She's in a clown suit, but they all noted that there were no clown shoes. Because how can you drive a getaway car in clown shoes? So, anyway, that's all that we know about the killer. She's tall. She has long dark hair. She has big brown eyes.
Wow.
And she isn't wearing clown shoes. A local Publix, everybody is like, all right, Mike and Sheila are together.
Right.
Sheila's like, oh, no, we're just friends. Mike's like, oh, we're just friends. But Sheila's neighbors are like, oh, we thought that was her husband because he's over here so much.
Oh.
Anyway, like I said, all we know is large brown eyes, long brown hair, a local Publix. We don't have them here.
Yeah, they're grocery store.
But yeah, like a local Publix grocery store recalls a woman with long brown hair and big brown eyes that bought balloons.
Oh my God.
And flowers. And the balloons matched the "You're the Best"
Oh no.
balloon that she bought. And then, about a half a mile away near the Publix, there's a local costume shop.
Oh my God. Did somebody with her identity possibly maybe rent a clown outfit?
Here's how you don't get away with murder. A woman came in right as they were closing. Like, all right, they close at 7. You're in there at like 6:58.
Yeah.
You ever work retail?
Yeah, I have.
You know how that goes.
Yeah.
And they're like, I'm sorry, we're closing. She's like, but I really need a costume tonight. Maybe you could just come back in the morning. No, it absolutely has to be tonight. So someone comes in and says that they absolutely need to have a clown costume Immediately. What? This is May. So this isn't like October 30th.
No.
Yeah, this is May. What kind of clown emergency do you have, ma'am? But they sell her the clown costume. 4 days after the shooting, the white Chrysler LeBaron is found. It's 8 miles from the crime scene. There are clown wig filters and also long dark hairs found in the car. And the car was stolen from a competing repo shop.
Oh my God.
So they also find fibers from the clown wig at Sheila's apartment. But that is, right now, at this point in time, like, not enough to commit.
Oh my God.
So it's okay. They can't convict her. They're looking into him.
Of course.
Mike has a rock-solid alibi, like I said, but he does get a huge payout for insurance because one of the businesses were listed. Pardon me, goodness. I've got the hiccups. Sorry, pardon me. In Sheila's name, or I'm sorry, in Maureen's name.
Oh, wow.
And he also has other staff. So he's not on the fence for Maureen's death.
Oh my God.
But he is for racketeering, insurance fraud. And most importantly, odometer tampering.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
when you have a used car?
Yeah.
No, I know what you're talking about.
He gets like 43 counts.
Oh my gosh.
43 counts. So he's going to jail.
Yeah, absolutely. No, you're not supposed to do that.
Sorry, I have the hiccups. In 2013, so he ends up with 4 years in prison. And then in 2013, new DNA testing is available.
Of course it is.
And it's right around the same time, like, okay, so we've got this case that they've kind of put to bed.
Right.
But every once in a while, when you get like a cold case team, they go and start digging up,
of course,
some of the dirt of the old. I'm so sorry. Yeah. In 2013, the new DNA testing, pardon me, shows that she's the clown.
Oh, okay. So now the DNA, yeah, yep.
So now it's like,
no,
yep,
that was you.
we can say this is you. Something interesting.
What's that?
Well, they're looking for Sheila, and they can't find her.
Uh-oh.
And the reason why? After Mike got out of prison, Sheila is now going by Debbie. And she and Mike are married. And they're running a burger and like sandwich restaurant in Tennessee.
Oh my God.
This is how we get to the Midwest. So they have a place called the Purple Cow.
Oh, okay.
And Debbie, by all accounts, is a really shitty boss. Like, all of the servers hate her. And she's mean to the staff. And there is kind of like a little bit of a rumor going around that she killed her husband's wife.
Oh my God.
And she even goes a clown one year for Halloween.
Why? Oh, no.
I'm showing Janet the picture.
It's not even a good one. No.
A terrible clown.
Right.
So, here's the sad part.
Okay.
Maureen's mom, Shirley, that had said, oh, if anything happens to him, like what happens to her, he did it.
Right.
Maureen's probably answered the door because she and her mom... I'm so sorry. Both have a lifelong love of and history of collecting
clowns.
So when she sees a clown at the door, she's like...
She's excited.
Oh, yay!
Oh, my God. Wow.
And even after Maureen was killed, her mom kept up the clown collection.
Of course she did. Oh, my God. There's
all these pictures. And they interviewed her for 2020. And Shirley says, oh, God, this is the saddest thing I've ever heard, but also kind of funny. I don't hate clowns. I only hate one.
Oh, no! Wow.
2017. Debbie/Sheila is finally arrested. And they have this giant mansion out in Virginia. Because again, like he got
a bunch of money.
So much money, like between the two of them. Like it is ridiculous.
Oh my God.
So she's arrested finally. And like this mansion, it is okay. Sidebar. We have lived in South City, St. Louis, 4 years. We have these big old houses.
Right.
There are so many people that just try to turn them into the grossest kind of like pottery barn. Ugh. Ryder and I saw it online. Somebody called it greige. And that's it. Like when you have like that barn house gray.
Yeah.
And then it's all beige and you have no culture and like no personality.
Right. No, I know what you mean.
I know. I always tell Ryder, I'm like, I might have bad taste, but like I might have like a bad sense of aesthetic, but at least I have one.
Exactly. You do not. Okay.
So they go to a restaurant at her greige mansion.
Greige mansion?
And her first question is, are you going to arrest him too? So clearly she loves him. She takes a plea deal. And between time served and good behavior, she is convicted of second-degree murder, and she's going to be out early 2025.
Wow.
Meanwhile, this is a 27-year-old cold case.
Yeah.
And they finally go ahead and get it finished. Mike... he does time for his, like, financial crimes.
Right.
But he never does anything for what he did to his wife. And Sheila/Debbie, like I said, ends up, all told, doing about maybe 8 years.
Oh, my God.
They still both say that they had nothing to do with it.
Even though their DNA is clearly connected.
But she takes the plea because she's just like, all right, well, if I go to trial, I could be facing, like, at one point in time, she was facing a death penalty.
Right, yeah.
And she's just like, all right, well, if I do this, then I can be home in like 14 months.
Right, yep. Oh my God.
And he never saw anything but money out of all of this.
Oh my God, wow. That is crazy.
So there is no justice for Maureen. And Joe, her stepson, he ended up having kind of a long line of, like, mental illness and drug abuse and all of that. But he did eventually, like, find sobriety and find some kind of peace. And so he is happy.
Good.
And doing well today.
That's
and unfortunately, clown collecting Shirley, Maureen's mom, she passed away before all of this actually took place. So
gotcha.
I am sorry that she never really got to see
justice.
justice for her daughter.
Right.
And so, like, it's not the best ending.
Right.
But there is at least a little bit of justice for her.
Exactly.
And also, I am so sorry that I have, like, through all of it. My sources for the story, Small Town Mysteries podcast, and also Check the Locks podcast, which is a new one for me.
Nice.
That I really like. CBS News. There is a very good 2020 episode.
Oh, nice.
About Maureen Warren, and then also AP News.
Wow.
And
that is crazy.
Well,
I think I kind of sort of remember the story now. I remember watching something where there was a clown.
It's hard to forget that.
I don't remember all the details, but I definitely remember a clown arriving at somebody's front porch and killing them. So
and the one I have for you next week is even more bananas. I can't wait to write it.
So I think this is where we should take a break.
We do take a break. I am going to go hiccup all over the place. And then I'm going to take Janet out back and show her the fancy balloons I bought her. And we will be right back with What's Nice.
We'll be back with What's Nice. If you enjoy getting muddy with us, here are some ways you can help support the podcast. Send us your ideas at bigmuddymayhem@gmail.com. Like and subscribe to the podcast on the platform where you're listening. And of course, a good review will help us reach new listeners. If you're listening on YouTube, leave a comment in the comments section. Join our Facebook group where we can discuss the episodes and hear your suggestions. And of course, tell your friends, your family, your neighbors, your delivery people, your Amazon guy,
the grocery store,
anyone at all.
Stand out on your porch and scream on the street like, "Hey!
Listen to Big Muddy Mayhem!" But please share and subscribe. And let's get back to What's Nice. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
And now it's time for What's Nice.
It is.
So, I'm going to go with Ohio. And since he was in Cleveland for a little while, I'm going to go with Cleveland.
There's not a ton that's nice in Cleveland. I'm interested to see what you do with this.
So, there is a music center there called the Andrew J. Brady Music Center.
Okay.
They have lots of concerts there, mostly concerts actually. It's a pretty neat place. I've never been. I'm actually going to go there on the 23rd of November to go see a band.
Nice.
So that'll be fun. Let's see here. What's some information on this
So
place?
it's a music hall.
Yes, it is. They have a City View Lounge as well. It says, elevate your concert experience with the City View Lounge Pass upgrade.
Hey.
private city view lounge and outdoor patio where you can enjoy amazing views surrounded by floor-to-ceiling windows. The City View Lounge opens 15 minutes prior to doors, giving you early entry into the lounge so you can beat the crowds.
Hey.
Plus, you get 1 drink voucher for a complimentary drink, full-service bar and drink specials as well, and you can purchase Dewey's Pizza from there.
Hey! Oh, so it's like that little place in Eureka Springs that we like.
Right. And so this is kind of a picture of the inside of it.
Oh, that's cute. And lots of big posters, like concert posters of people that have been there.
And there's the outside area.
Mm-hmm. Oh, nice. So you do get a like a nice little view.
It's right on the river, too. So you can totally see, the river, and it's so pretty.
Watch the sun go down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty neat place. I will put some pictures out on our Facebook page, but it's mostly indoors, but there's an outdoor area where you can hang out in. I'm kind of excited to see it. Here is a 360 view of what the inside of it looks like.
Oh, that's pretty. And what band you're going to see?
I'm going to go see Baby Metal. I'll explain it later.
Okay.
But yeah, that's the venue. It's not a very big venue. It's got lots of seats that are up.
But still,
too.
cute view.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
So, but yeah, it's the Andrew J. Brady Music Center. I had to, every time I look it up, I'm like, what is the name of that place? And I'm like, oh, wait a minute, my thing happens in Cleveland. Let's go there.
Well, we will look forward to your review.
Yes.
Honestly, I've been to a whole bunch of Midwest cities, but I haven't been to Cleveland since I was like 5.
Ah, I see.
So, yeah.
So that's my what's nice.
So that's what's nice.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got one too.
Okay.
So my story, obviously, it took place all over the place, and it was only briefly in the Midwest.
Right.
I kind of cheated a little, but clown murder. Come on. So I went to Kingsport, Tennessee, which is where the Purple Cow was listed. Now, the Purple Cow, the word on Reddit is that apparently Mike Warren, the murdering husband, apparently still has control of that again.
Oh my God.
But that's not what's nice here.
No.
So I can't use that.
Mm-mm.
But I do think it's funny, like I said, that Reddit started the whole campaign where people would pull up to the drive-thru and sing, "You can get anything you want at the Murder Cloud restaurant."
Oh no, like Alice's restaurant.
I know. And so Megan, I'm sorry that I gave you a clown story, but I hope that you think that this makes up for it. Also, hey, by the way, so we are recording on a Tuesday. Our episode is going to drop
tomorrow.
On a Wednesday.
Yep.
Tomorrow, when it does drop, is going to be Justin's birthday. Justin, friend of the pod.
Happy early birthday.
Happy birthday. We love you so much.
I love you.
And thank you for being a muddy buddy. And also, Megan, sorry about the clown. So for my real what's nice. I looked at, they have something called the Kingsport Carousel and Park.
Okay.
So it's an 8-mile lined paved path.
Oh, wow.
That takes you through all kinds of things.
Oh, nice.
But the thing that we're here to talk about today is the Kingsport Carousel.
Ooh.
The carousel dates from 1956.
Nice.
It opened in 2015. And they have over 30 hand-carved animals.
Awesome.
Each one took hundreds of hours to carve. Over 300 volunteers volunteered to kind of restore it. And now they've got it open. It's $1 per ride.
Really?
Which is not that much.
No.
And you can also rent for private parties.
Uh-huh.
Also, the panels behind, you know how like there are the panels behind all of the
Yeah.
carousel ornaments. They represent the city's history.
Oh, nice.
And so I'll show you one picture of. It looks a little bit like the one that we see at our St. Louis Zoo,
Yeah, it
which
does.
is beautiful
Yes.
and also historic.
Right.
So, yeah, I love it. Love an
Yeah.
old carnival.
I love old carnival stuff.
And love like an old carousel.
Yes.
And so, yeah, the idea that there's one of them there.
Right.
And my dog is wanting treats and my boyfriend is sneezing, so
We should probably
get ready to close off. My sources for my What's Knives were, of course, the ever-present TripAdvisor.com, and then also Arts Kingsport, KINGSPORT, will tell you a little bit about that 8-mile trail that you can go and see all of the fun things.
Cool. Yay.
And I'm going to make you a snack. And we're going to go feed the cats.
And this is where we have to remind people of things.
It is. Yeah, I know. And that is that, like, most importantly, before I attend to the animals, I need to remind you to stay Midwest nice.
Stay Midwest nice.